Stories by Snoowood Studios. Like and subscribe right now, you hooligans.
People who work for the super wealthy, what stuff have you seen? I moved the guy that created eBay. He had Aretha Franklin's grand piano, played it, and Elvis Presley's coat, didn't wear it. Their kids, all young 20s, never shut the door when using the bathroom. Plenty times while cleaning the house I'd walk past the bathroom and see one of their daughters on the can. They'd often wave or say hi, flipping odd. I had a client gamble away $220,000 in one night. I did carpentry for a summer to save up money for school. We would go to huge mansions and amazing houses that needed work done. Usually easy stuff, decorative things, so most times it would be 1 to 2 days of work. Most times we would work, the family would be home. It's not a problem, very normal. Once a family had kids and they watched a TikTok video on what poor people eat, and it was about how to cook things like 10-cent ramen and bread with sausages to make hot dogs. They laughed and thought it was fun, so made the food to try in the kitchen. They hated it all. This was the food I grew up eating my whole life. That packet of ramen was the same as the dinner waiting for me at home. I am a dentist and used to own a dental office in an extremely wealthy area. I feel like really rich people come in 2 flavors, very humble and generous, or just 100% a-hole. Most are the a-hole, not much in the middle. True wealthy people care a lot about time, not money. If there was any hiccup in a procedure or something wasn't correct, they would flip out. 99% of the issues they would flip out about I could fix, but that meant they had to make another dentist appointment, which wasted their time. I hated working on rich people. Best day of my life is when I sold that dental office. I worked at a house in which both father and mother were so busy making money in order to give their children a better quality of life that the eldest son, who was at my school, joined a gang. That guy didn't lack money, but he lacked empathy, love for other people, respect towards others, control of emotions. Their kids are all kinds of screwed up. Turns out money can't replace an emotionally available parent. What struck me the most is how extremely picky they are, and how angry they get at anything that isn't exactly how they want it. Because I'm noticing myself drift towards that, even though I'm nowhere near wealthy. It makes me question what I feel entitled to everything else. I think of it as alien behavior that I could never understand. This is the only one where I see a bit of myself. Wife is PA for wealthy and incredibly powerful man. Self-made, humble, uncomfortable in small social gatherings, but a lion in a business setting. Understated houses. What I found most interesting is the guy would think nothing of dropping 5 figures on jewelry or other luxury items. But come the end of the day, Friday, that guy is in the kitchen at the office taking home all the leftover bagels from the morning. $300 baby cashmere sweater that will fit for 6 months and probably get thrown up on. If most didn't have people clean for them, they'd be lost. Don't go to a rich relative or friend's house and feel like a baddie. They ain't cleaning the bread themselves. My friend is an aeronautical engineer, worked for some Saudi family's airport in the US. Got sent all over the world to work on and retrieve private jets. Insane. He quit to be closer to his wife and newborn kid. It's crazy how many try to get out of paying for things. Makes you wonder if that's how they got wealthy in the first place. But as for material things I've seen, I worked on a house that had a huge swimming pool with a 1/3 mile long lazy river. He also had a movie theater that sat about $20,000 and a $60,000 aquarium in his basement private bar. Getting a chartered jet stocked with lobster and other expensive food only to show up late with McDonald's. Not me, but my cousin teaches English to foreign students in London. Sometimes they were kids. She was once asked to go to a wealthy Arab's home to help their kids learn English. The house was stunning, the usual opulence, but the liquid hand soap was watered down. Despite being incredibly rich, they skimped on basic items like soap, loo roll, etc. It was all cheap brands, or, as I said, watered down. Used to perform a religious service for a multi-billionaire on weekends. Saw some interesting things for sure. One of my favorite frivolous spending I saw was when he wanted to lower the fan on the AC system without changing the temperature, and his staff told him the system can't do that. He thought for a moment, then said something like, "Make it so it can do that. Have it done by Monday." This was Saturday. You bet there was a new HVAC system in that 6-story building by Monday. Cost a few $100,000. There was a lot of other stuff, but that stood out for how casual it was. Worked for a 3-person dog walking doggy daycare company. Ended up getting some very wealthy clients. They traveled for fun so often my boss and I had their dog for more days out of the year than they did. It was to the point that people at my favorite dog park thought he was my dog. As you can imagine, the dog misbehaved a fair amount, but he was also sweet. The same couple also employed a pool guy. I helped him out one day when their pool cover got stuck and he offered to pay me cash next time he came by. He asked where he could leave an envelope and I told him just to leave it on the counter inside. He looked at me incredulously and said, "Do you really think they let me in their house?" I never knew what to think of that, lol. He seemed like a professional guy, and had started working for them just a few months after me. I didn't work directly, but I was a chauffeur picking up a family in Atherton. All the children had their own iPads and one child got upset and threw his iPad on the ground, breaking it. Some assistant nanny went inside and brought out a brand new iPad in the box and gave it to the child. Nothing was said. I despair for the future. I did a clerical job for a very rich man, and mostly worked at his office. But once I was at his home for some business reason, and heard him in the background telling family members to get fake passports and cash together and get ready to flee the country. Apparently he had been engaged in some sort of illegal business activity. The next day I went to work. The office was closed and padlocked. I never did find out if he outran the law or not. I dated a girl for a year whose parents were very wealthy, like live-in servant, parents flown on private jets in and out of NYC multiple times per week, wealthy. Both her and her brother were some of the most emotionally unavailable people I've ever met, like completely focused on work at all times, and it consumed their entire lives and completely detached from reality. In an honest moment, probably the one she had with me in a year, she told me how miserable her and her entire immediate family were all the time. My aunt used to clean rich people's houses. I helped her once and I saw a tanning bed in the loft bedroom of a little girl, 12 or so years old. I coached sailing to the child of a CEO from one of the biggest U.S. service industry conglomerates. When his child did well, he would take me out to dinner, sometimes with his buddies. The many stories they each told of cheating on their wives, drug taking, tax evasion and general esbaggery genuinely shocked me, especially when I had a close relationship with some of his children. The owner of my company had a customer pay off a giant debt by signing over a yacht to him. When he went to the marina to get the storage info transferred to his name and saw how much it cost to store the yacht there, he bought the marina.